Yo, what's going on, y'all? It's your boy SoSo, in case you ain't know so, and welcome back to another episode of Sports with SoSo. Coming to you live from CIC Miami, y'all. We got another dope episode on deck. Make sure you guys are following us on social media, including YouTube, where we're pumping all the episodes, and following us on Instagram as we keep you up with the latest in sports. This week, like I said, another amazing episode. We're talking Heat and some scandal. We got the Marlins getting an Olympian back. And you know we got to talk about UFC 265. And for all my soccer fans, I got you with some heartbreak juice. Talking some Messi and Chelsea. It's time to get it popping, y'all. Let's go! That'll work. Yo. Let me tell you, I had tremendo round of golf, dog. Much
golf
better
this weekend as well?
Yes.
In between everything that you were doing on the sidelines, reporting and commentating, you were the color guy, you were the analyst, you were everything in one out there, bro.
I'm doing everything. You know, big shout out to 365 Flag Football. We locked down that championship episode that they had for the playoffs. I got to announce the games and commentate, and I even did some interviews with the MVPs of the game, which happened to be the same guy because he was dominating on the field that day. Big shout out to Kev, man, and his squad. Shout out to the Highliest Scums for winning the championship for 2021. It was a tough season, man, because a lot of those teams are evenly matched up. They all have athletes. They all have teams who have played together for like 5 years. So there's a lot of chemistry there. So it's a very tough competitive league. And if you think you got a flag football team that can hang or can go out there and dominate, hit my dogs up. See what you can do and bring it to the table because they're taking everybody out there. And, man, it's a packed league.
It looked dope. It looked super dope. You were out there on the field. I saw them. You had people coming by. You were interviewing them and stuff, man, doing your thing. So I wish I would have got jealous. The invitation to that. Jealous.
Nah, man, it was a short notice type of thing. But the good news is we're gonna be able to do it again for the nighttime episode of their championship for the Tuesday night league. So when that's coming up, trust me, Sports with SoSo, we're gonna be in the building.
At night, not as hot. Count me in for that for sure.
Bruh, that heat and humidity and the rain threatening was not a joke, man. But we were able to get it in. It came out great. I can't wait for you guys to hear it. Shout out to Pooh and MC Visuals for videographing the whole thing. They got some amazing footage out there of some great plays. So I'm excited to see it all come together. So trust me, when it comes out, you guys will be the first to know.
That's what's up. That's what's up. How hot was it during your round of golf that you were talking about before?
Homie. It made me realize why nobody ever plays after 12. Like, you can always find the golf time or tee time after 12. Like, nobody's out there playing.
You got to be out there either from 8 to noon, getting done right around 12 o'clock, right when the sun's right above you, or go out there around like 3 o'clock right now that the sun goes down around like 7:38. You got to do that like 3 o'clock round because from 12 to 3, bro, oof. Or even, you can even argue like 10:30, 11 to 3, bro.
Yeah, if you're starting at 11, it's almost like you started at noon.
You're just asking for, like dehydration and you want to go into heat shock and shit. Yeah.
Check out that tan right there, buddy.
Nah, you were born with that, bro. What you shit. You trying to show off a farmer's tan? I'll show you a farmer's tan, big guy.
You want to see a farmer's tan? Yeah, bro. But it happens out there because, again, you're out there playing and, you put your sunblock on and all that stuff, but the heat, man, is just unbearable. And the sun was out there.
I didn't play a single round of golf. I didn't swing a golf club. I didn't do anything golf-related this weekend.
That makes me a little bit happy. Bro, I feel like I'm catching up. No disrespect, but I'm catching up.
I was still hungover. I was hungover from the golf trip the previous week. 4 rounds of golf in 3 days. Talk about hot.
Draining.
Holy shit, it was hot that day. The whole weekend, bro. From the Friday to Sunday, it was just miserable. But we toughed it out, and I just didn't want to see a golf course this past weekend. I just chilled, cleaned my crib, hung out with my girl. Just caught up with the fam.
Normal stuff.
When I drove by a golf course, I looked the other way. Let's put it that way.
Damn.
Normally, I'm rubbernecking.
Are you sick, dog? Man, I'm gonna have to check
I was hungover, bro. I was hungover, but you know what? I'm ready to golf this weekend.
Yeah, I bet. Golf overload is a real thing.
It was a big overload.
It's a real thing. It's a real thing, and it can happen. And again, people don't realize how much it can drain you physically until you're actually playing 18 holes of golf on an afternoon.
No, and I didn't even mention this last week on last week's episode. I didn't tell you, but we were golfing during the day and then staying up at night till like 2 in the morning or no, past 2 in the morning. We were up till like 3 or 4 in the morning.
hanging
No,
out.
watching the Olympics, watching
Oh my
golf, because the
God,
golf
yes.
coincided. And Saturday was the last night that a couple of us stayed up all the way to the end to watch Xander Schauffele take it down and get the gold. So imagine, it was like we were staying up to watch that, getting a couple hours of sleep, and going golfing again.
Crazy.
But dude, the Olympics, man.
Amazing.
I don't know if we talked about it last week. I think I was still in my hangover.
Yeah.
But we got to talk about the Olympics a little bit.
We got to talk about it, man, because the teams that we expected to dominate did their thing. We had USA men's and women's basketball dominate and really get off to ending the Olympics in the right way, because they were under some scrutiny a little bit for not putting those major performances like we've seen in the past. But people don't realize how hard it is to win a medal. Forget about a gold medal. Just winning a medal, period, is really hard, because you're going against the best in the world.
Yeah.
Literally. So it was really cool to see the men's team and the women's team lock that down. We saw a lot of world records get broken in the swimming aspect. Ledecky, she killed it out there. We also had Team USA women's gymnastic. They won the medal. It was pretty dope to see USA just still have that.
I don't know if you
dominance,
saw
man.
the comeback victory in wrestling that the heavyweight
Wow.
had to win the match. It was like 11 seconds left, and he was down like 3 or 4 points, something like that.
Yep.
And he ended up coming back to win it in the last second.
Literally.
Crazy victory. The whole thing with Simone Biles and and her mental health and just kind of having the pressure of the world on her shoulders and stepping down, for her
Doing
teammates.
the right thing. And
Yeah, because her
stepping down.
mind wasn't there. She said, I'm not gonna be able to give my best, where I'm at right now, and stepping down and letting her teammates, take over and whatnot. What else? We won gold in both men's and women's. Men's and women's golf. So
Right.
shout out Xander
Yes.
Schauffele and shout out Nelly Korda.
And that field was surprisingly lit
All of
with
them.
like really good golfers.
Yeah.
I thought it was going to be like, oh, okay, you get the top dogs, maybe top 10, and then everybody else will be a drastic fall. But man, there was no drop off at all. No drop off.
It was good competition.
Straight up.
Men's and women's basketball. Sorry, I'm a little slurred. Still
It's
the
all
hangover.
good. It's all good.
Men's and women's basketball, gold.
Yep.
I mean, a couple weeks ago we had Jaime on the show on the phone, and we were coming off of 3-4 straight losses from Team USA.
Yep.
We lost to France, lost to Australia, lost to Nigeria, and
People were doubting them.
It was looking grim.
People were
And
doubting them.
Here we are now with with
2 gold medals.
Bam Adebayo,
My dog.
representing the Miami Heat out
And he
there.
was showing out today, bro. Man showed up to the Summer League game decked in gold. He's not even wearing it, bro. He's like holding on to it like it's a big ass chain or something. He's like, yeah, this is me right here, Oh, this little thing right here? It's a little gold medal.
Yeah,
you know?
nah, it's a little
Speaking,
something.
you know who else won a gold medal? Hometown hero, actually, Eddie Alvarez, Marlins player. He was able to win the silver with USA Baseball, which is, again, such an accomplishment because they're playing the best in the world. They're playing the Dominican Republic. They're playing the Japanese. They're playing Puerto Rico. They're playing Cuba. Tough teams when it comes to baseball. And USA held their own and got, to the final championship game, and unfortunately lost to Japan 2-0. But Eddie Alvarez walks away a silver medalist in 2 sports. Now he's the third
crazy.
American, a 6th Olympian ever to medal in both the summer and the winter games.
That's crazy. He did speed skating, right?
Yes. That's how talented this guy is.
That's crazy.
Because
I
he's
can't
an
even
athlete.
imagine.
You can't even call him a baseball player. You can't call him like a skater. You have to call that man a straight up athlete.
Ese es un espécimen, brother.
Tipo una especie.
Que tú sabes.
No, seguro que sí, mi hermano. And, he's a guy who's done everything right. So for him to have those aspirations of being one of the best athletes that have ever, existed in the United States and putting himself in a position to do it is amazing to see. It's such a great accomplishment for him and his family. I'm sure they're proud of him. Hell, we're all proud of him here and the rest of the Americans that won medals. And especially with him because he's a hometown guy. Now he gets to go back to the Marlins after some rest and maybe get some swings in so that he's ready for the offseason and get right back into spring training. And let's see, man. Let's see what that future holds for the Marlins because he's such a talented guy that having him on the roster is always going to be a benefit to the squad. And by the looks of it, we're gonna use every single player that we can in order to make some type of run next year.
Yeah, no, we're absolutely going to need it. We'll get into the Marlins in a second. But before we get off the Olympics, I just want to recap for everybody. U.S. led the way. We had a last-second gold medal to take us one up on China. We ended up with 39 gold medals. China ended up with 38, and Japan ended up with 27.
Look at that.
Our total medal count was 113, and the next highest person was China with 88.
Sick.
Domination.
Dominating, yes, but
this is where we need to have the national anthem queued up, man, because I feel so patriotic right now. I just,
you know what? We'll superimpose the American flag waving in the background.
No, I'm gonna try to put a bald eagle shooting laser beams out of its eyes,
sitting on your shoulder or something. But it's really cool to see the rest of the countries really step up. You know, we saw Cuba win a bunch of medals that they hadn't won before. No, not only in wrestling, but they won in powerlifting. They won in,
that's right.
in volleyball. They were able to do really well in other sports. So you see a kid from Turkey won a gold medal in swimming in the 400-meter race. First time that country has ever won a medal, let alone a gold medal in swimming.
Philippines won their first gold medal.
You know what I mean? So, like, you get to see that. And a female won it at that, dude. Yeah, so, like,
huge.
It's huge.
Can't imagine the pride, the sense of pride that you get from accomplishing that for your country, not just for yourself, but for all those people that call themselves, you know, Filipino, Cuban, Turkish, whatever. You know what I mean?
Right. They're representing, bro.
Soccer.
Yes. Shout out to Brazil.
What a surprise. Who had Brazil winning it in soccer, dude?
Who would have picked that team? I don't know. A guy named SoSo, maybe. But
congrats to them. I thought about you when I saw that. How was
what's
how
crazy?
Was your lady? How'd she feel about that?
She was super stoked, man. And more my father-in-law, because that team was made up of a lot of youth. Not a lot of experienced players go out there, except for like a guy like Danny Alves, who wanted to add more to his trophy cabinet. This guy's won every single trophy that there is to win in the world of soccer. And that team was just a very young squad, learning how to put it together and having an expectation to perform and to do well and to actually win. And for them to accomplish that, man, it's tough, because Brazilians expect a lot out of their soccer team. Like, if you're not Pelé level, Neymar level, Kaká level, all of those greats that have played there, Ronaldo, Ronaldinho, they pretty much consider you a C-rank player.
Of course.
You know, so it's all or nothing out there. And those boys were able to come out big for their country and win a gold medal, which is dope,
what's
man.
Up.
Yeah,
man.
man.
But speaking of soccer, though.
Yes.
We got to talk about.
Let's talk about it.
It's not Chelsea, but
let's talk about it. No, but we got Chelsea news too, so we could tie it all in, baby.
All right, let's do it. Let's do it.
Let's tie it all in.
So, how do you feel about Barcelona not re-signing Messi and him signing with PSG and Neymar?
First of all, I think that Messi fans have every single right to be upset, because the way that Barcelona handled that business of having Messi forever there was done completely wrong. And they can point to a lot of things on the board and the president and this and that and the other. But at the end of the day, you got to recognize when bad business is bad business. When you have a player like that that's so committed to your team and your city and its fan base and all that, you do everything you can. And you do it early. You don't wait until the contract is getting ready to expire. You don't wait until he's unhappy because you're losing and he says, I want to leave, to try to fix things. You do that stuff early, because you realize
with time,
right, how important he is and how much time it's going to take to set all those things up, right? So now Barcelona has that whole drama starting last year with him wanting to leave, and the reports are coming out that he's asking for a transfer. Doesn't happen. He's willing to come back. They smooth things over. They try to sign him. And all the meanwhile, La Liga is warning teams, hey, we're making big changes to how we do business and what you guys are going to be able to spend. Everybody just blew it off. Hey, didn't really pay attention to it. Barcelona continued to do bad business by signing a bunch of players that they didn't really need. Overspending, huge wages, huge money on the books. That's a team that's $1 billion in debt. $1 billion in debt. For the mass of money that club generates, to be in $1 billion debt is crazy to me. But that's all that bad business. At some point, it's going to catch up to you. And it just so happened to catch up to them with their most prominent player, a guy who didn't deserve to go out like that, in Lionel Messi. because he did everything he could in his powers to stay there. He took a 50% pay cut.
And they still couldn't afford it.
And they still couldn't afford
That's
it.
the crazy part, dog.
But before that, they signed 3 players to big wages this summer. Why? Bad business. Get your important stuff done first. The rest of the little stuff is going to fall like dominoes because everybody wants to play with Messi. Everybody wants to go to Barcelona for him. So you don't have to sign guys first. Those guys will wait until the freaking season even starts before they even lace up without having Messi there.
Right.
So now all these guys sign expecting that they're going to play with Messi. Or Guerrero, his best friend, is there like, all right, I'm finally going to get to play with my man. Psych.
You thought.
You thought. And then poor Leo Messi is the one who has to take the burden because it hurts him the most.
And it sucks, man, because, you know, he obviously, he's been there for 20 years, better part of 2 decades.
Crazy.
Since he was, what,
That's all
16
he knows.
years old, 17 years
like
old?
13, dog. That's all
13,
he knows.
Yeah, you know, he's become a man there, you know, with that organization. What he's been able to do, you know, for that country, you know, for all of Europe. You know, he has fans all over
Everywhere.
the world. I mean,
Everywhere.
It's him and Ronaldo, right? It's going back and forth all the time. And to see him up there in the press conference, you know, shedding tears about, you know, the way that it went down, and you don't see that, man. That's something.
It was sad, bro.
It was heartbreaking, you know,
sad.
because you don't see that normally. You know, they're kind of like bitter or whatever. Like there's angst, you know. They're kind of, you can see the frustration or the disappointment, or if they're happy for the trade or the next chapter, they're optimistic about it.
Correct.
He was just like defeated almost. It kind of seemed like, it's like, dude, you're going to go to PSG to go play with arguably
your boys,
the best player, you know, in the world after you.
They're his boys.
You know, why can't you be excited about that? It's like he's not there yet. He's mourning the loss of Barcelona.
Correct.
You know what I mean? He's losing Barcelona, what he's known his whole life, basically.
And I'm sure that in his mind, he was like, this day is never going to come. This day is never going to come because I'm willing to do whatever it takes to be here.
Right.
And he did. That's why this all falls on Barcelona.
Yep.
You guys handled this completely wrong. So all you Barcelona fans that were fans of Messi and all this stuff, and all you've known is Messi, you may want to buy a PSG shirt or see how much they're going for.
I got mine in the cart already, ready to go, Papa.
Because it's going to be rough.
I'm spelling Messi, Messy. Just to get a little discount. You know what I'm saying? But
like, oh, this came back
so put me on real quick. Put us on, the listeners and myself. What does this mean now for Barcelona, and what does this mean now for PSG?
Well, let's start off with PSG because they're obviously the more promising project now. They still have Mbappe, even though he has rumors of wanting out and going to Real Madrid, right? Makes sense. But you still have Neymar there, who's in his prime. You still have his boys there that are Di Maria. You have, I'm forgetting the other
I'll look it up
Argentinian.
for you, but go on.
But he's there. And the main issues that PSG had last year, which was their goalkeeping or consistent goalkeeping and their defense, they improved because they spent money on those 2 things also. Hold on. There he is.
You got him.
Wait.
He's
Verratti, that's his name. Verratti, that's his boy. And they just got Sergio Ramos, his long-time arch nemesis, because he played at Real Madrid. So PSG loaded up completely. And the only thing that they're worried about is not winning their league. It's not winning a tournament. It's only one thing, Champions League. They're going all in on Champions League. And that team right now, as construed, is completely ready to dominate Champions League. I hope that Chelsea, I know that they won't get put into the same bin, obviously, because we're the champs, so we're going to have that same type of, that draw. But, man, that's not a team that you're going to want to face in the rounds of knockouts and stuff like that because they're going to be loaded, and they're going to be able to score from anywhere. Anywhere. Very dangerous team right now, PSG is looking like. Now,
all right, so that's promising.
If they lose Mbappe, then they'll look more, attainable. They can be touched.
I mean, they lose Mbappe, but they gain Messi. And Mbappe, what you were telling me, I mean, I don't know the details around it,
right.
But if he was looking for something beforehand, does Messi coming to your squad now kind of change your mind on that?
Yes and no.
There's something
right?
that keeps you there.
Yes and no, because you want to see how it works out, right? You're like, he's one of the few legends in the game that you can say, I played with him and he was still at his best, right? So that has to be real tempting for a guy like Mbappe because if you care about soccer and you care about being the best in the world, you have to learn from the best. And you're not going to learn from anybody better than Lionel Messi. I'm sorry. It just doesn't exist, right? About hard work, dedication, loving the sport, being loyal, taking care of yourself, taking care of your family, like how to navigate all of that. Nobody's done it better than Lionel Messi. I'm sorry. Nobody. So for Mbappe, yeah, that makes him want to stay. But at the same time, if Real Madrid is calling you and calling you and calling you and offering that number 10 shirt and saying, come be our guy, it's really hard to say no when you're that wanted. You know what I mean? So it's a 50-50 thing. Maybe Mbappe just because he has his contract runs out next year, so he'll be able to move as a free agent, not this year, the next year, 22. But it could be that he just does like a see how it goes thing with 1 year and see how it goes playing with Messi. Why not?
Got nothing to lose at that
Got
point.
nothing to lose, you know?
On the other hand, you got Barcelona.
For Barcelona,
which
however,
seems like you lose Jordan, you lose LeBron,
right now
right?
that team has a black hole in it.
and it's just gaping.
It's just a gate. It's a little small black hole right now. But as everybody knows, if you watch them Netflix,
I don't know, dude. I feel like
they
that black
start
hole,
they start little, but they expand real quick.
I feel like that was a big piece of that organization, bro.
It is.
Right there.
It is a big piece. It is a big piece that's gone. Now, granted, what does this do for Barcelona? It forces them to play everybody. It forces them to play their younger talent. It forces them to count on their academy prospects to say, all right, guys, somebody has to fill the void here. Whether it's one player, a combination of players, a whole team, whatever, we have to fill this void in some way, some fashion.
Did I ever tell you about when I went to Barcelona and I went to the stadium?
You went there?
Yeah, I did.
Nah,
I never told you.
Yeah, I could.
Yeah, dog. We even took pictures there and everything. We did like a whole
Tour?
We did a tour of everything. They gave us like a virtual reality headset, and we were able to sit in the stands. And like the virtual reality was like what it's like during a game. Like you look around and there's crazy fans all around you. The game's going on, the lights. But while we were there on the field, there was like a mini camp of like little kids playing soccer. You know what I mean?
Right.
Probably age range anywhere from like 7 to 12 years old.
Okay.
Yeah, no older than that. Oh my goodness.
Studs.
Bro, these kids were, and swaggy. Not just studs, but swaggy little grown men, bro.
Little
the way that they were playing, like one of them scored, he took his shirt off, he like slid like on his knees to the corner and stuff, and all his boys were all around him, like yeah, like bro, it was crazy to see that. They had 4 different games going on the actual field
right,
at the same time. That was like 2 years ago, so I'm sure some of those kids got to be ready for Barcelona now.
At some point,
They're gonna
I mean,
get
look,
signed.
they have
to have some prospects there.
They have an 18-year-old Pedri who was playing for Spain, and he's played, no lie, over 75 consecutive games of soccer for club and country. So he's played every single game for Barcelona, every single game for Spain. That's a year easy of playing every 2-3 days.
Yeah.
Pam, 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 pam. Now, granted, he's 18 years old, so obviously he can handle it.
Right.
But at the same time, you kind of want to protect him. But those are the things that you want to see as a Barcelona fan now. You want to see all the young guys that you guys have on your squad, talented players, take them shots and go out there and learn. Why not? Why not? Listen, it worked out for Chelsea. Chelsea was able to, they were forced into that because they actually got transfer banned. So they couldn't make a move for almost 2 years. What did that do? It forced their hand to say, all right, we got to look for talent somewhere else. We got to look at in-house to see what we have here because we're always loaning these players out or selling these players to somewhere else, and then they go on and become superstars or masters in their own rights. It worked for Chelsea because we were able to find talent, know, hey, this guy's worth keeping, this guy's not worth keeping. Let's add this type of player to this type of mix. And what did it get us? A Champions League trophy. That's right, a Champions League trophy.
Oh, hold on, bro.
Yeah, dog. Hit my. Nah, bro.
I got you.
Wrong blue. Bam.
Chelsea.
And you know what? Let me get the because we got big news. One more time. I just found out this weekend. It's officially official. Today, my man is in London getting a medical examination done. We got Romelu Lukaku.
Woo!
Man, he's back.
I don't know him, but I like his name.
He's back.
That sounds like a name that strikes fear.
Yeah, bro, he's a badass. Big, robust, number 9, real striker,
Okay.
real center forward. And
You say
interesting.
big, robust. Does that mean he's heavy set?
He's swole, dog.
Oh, he's swole.
He's swole. He ain't no little skinny guy like most strikers are.
Like
he's got some size. You could tell he lifts weights, you know. But the interesting thing about him is that he was a Chelsea Academy product.
Dope.
So
exactly
he
what
came
you were
up
just talking about.
exactly what I was talking about, where he came up through the rankings, actually was able to get to the first team. Right? We actually he didn't come completely through the academy. We got him when he was really young, so he was still able to play for like the 18-year-olds and stuff like that. Excuse me. When we did sign him, everybody touted him as the next guy. Man, this kid is going to be it. He's got all the attributes. He's got the size. He's got the strength. He's got the speed. He can obviously shoot with both legs, finishes. But at that time, Chelsea was just focused on having veteran players. Granted, they were in Champions League and winning Champions League when they first won it, competing for the English Premier League at the time. So it made sense why the young players didn't get the chance. And we saw it with a lot of young players. Eventually, Lukaku got moved. We sold him, and it was like, well, you're not going to be able to play for us for the next 3 years. You're young. Go out there and make a name for yourself. So he ends up in Everton, plays well, ends up making another move to Manchester United. And even then, when he made that move to Manchester United, we still wanted him back. Something happened with his agent, and the deal went left, and he ended up going to United. They obviously didn't appreciate him because they got rid of him within 2 years. And when they got rid of him, he went to Inter. And when he went to Inter Milan, he really solidified himself on the world stage. He was always good as a striker and always world class with Belgium. But when he got there with the coach, which was also a former Chelsea coach in Antonio Conte, he put him in a real good position where he can excel with his talents. And my man scored over 20 goals a season and won them their first title for that club in more than 10 years. So it's obvious that he's in the prime of his career.
He's developed since he left Chelsea the first time.
And
so
if you ask,
he's a different player.
Correct. And if you ask anybody who knows about soccer and you ask them, hey, you think Lukaku's in your top 5 of world-class strikers? There's going to be a strong argument as him being top 3.
Fire.
So now Chelsea, looking for a striker, having one on the market, we end up paying 113 million pounds, something like that, to get the deal done. And I didn't expect this move. I saw a lot of rumors about it, but then I was like, man, what are the chances that they spend the money? And look, they went out there and spent the money. So now you add a world-class striker, which was in a real position of need, right? Because last season we couldn't convert a lot of goals. We talked about it plenty of times where we had 16 shots on goal, 13 shots on goal, and we weren't scoring any or just had one goal. That's not, conductive to like winning soccer. Right. You're not putting yourself in a good position. With this guy, I just feel like he's an automatic goal scorer. If you get it to him and he's going to find a way to put it in the back of the net. And just by having him is going to improve everybody else around him. Timo Werner is going to improve. Kai Havertz is going to improve. Pulisic is going to improve. Hudson-Odoi is going to improve. Mason Mount is going to get even better. So now Chelsea has a plethora of attacking options and midfield options where I think that we're honestly going to be able to challenge for the EPL title this year, bro. It's crazy, but...
I mean, coming off the season they just had.
Why not us?
It's just a matter of how Tuchel
coaches.
Yeah, how he plays his team.
Yeah. And I feel like they're not, excuse me, I feel like they're not done when it comes to the transfer. I saw a lot of talk about Kunade. He's a defensive center back from, I believe it's from RB Leipzig, if I'm not mistaken, or Sevilla. But a good defensive center back, which is also a position of need because we don't have a lot of center backs locked in after this season. So we need a little bit of youth and we need something long term. And he's been highly touted as a defender. He's got the size and he's definitely got the pace to defend in the Premier League. So I'm interested to see if they're going to be able to get that deal done and over the line. Hopefully they'll be able to sell some players too because
so the deals are in motion, but they're not completed.
The Lukaku move is pretty much a done deal.
Let me ask you this: are there any rules against anti-tampering in soccer?
Yes, but it's always hard to prove because a lot of the times the agents are family members. So I'm a player, but my dad's my agent.
True.
And my cousin is my other agent. and
My mom's my attorney.
and my mom's my publicist. You know what I mean? So like everything stays within the family. They talk to reporters or people that they trust, and that news gets out there. So teams are always able to make contacts through those intermediary, quote unquote agents.
Right. The reason I'm asking you though,
I know.
Is-
For the Heat, but when it comes to the Lukaku stuff, just to wrap it up, like it's never official until they're holding the jersey.
Right.
So
That's why I'm
tomorrow when the paperwork is signed and the deal is completed and he's holding up the jersey, then you'll see Sports with SoSo IG put that post, hey, we got Romelu Lukaku. For now, I'm just gonna announce it and look like a jerk.
Lukaku. That's a good name. That's a strong name.
Hey man, I'm sure the Chelsea fans are gonna find an interesting way to sing that in the stands. There's no doubt about
That's
that.
good.
Bro.
3 syllables. Lukaku. That's good. They can do a lot with that.
the U at the end.
Lukaku.
There you go.
Oh, even better, bro.
Right? Sounds strong.
Yeah, I'm telling you, bro. This is a name that strikes fear. But
Let's talk about this.
Going
this
to this tampering, dog.
situation,
Like,
dog.
what's the deal? Break it down. They're investigating the Kyle Lowry deal.
Well, first of all, the Heat got a bunch of haters. So shout out to all the Heat haters. We see you, obviously.
How does this even happen?
Well, the NBA is, I don't know why they even try to do shit like this, but they're trying to crack down on like deals not being done before the deadline, and this player can't talk to this player, or this player can't talk to this agent, or these two agents can't conversate. But in the NBA, all of these players are homeboys. They all chill. They all meet up on vacation. They go to the same clubs. They buy the cars from the same people. Like, of course they're going to run into each other. Of course they're going to talk to each other about it. Because you know what? At the end of the day, they don't care.
And we know that Jimmy and Kyle are friends. I mean, you think they haven't been talking about this
Come
already?
on. No, I'm sure they've talked about it always. Maybe not specifically, hey, let's go play in Miami. But it's like, hey, dog, if we
gotta
get that
link up at
chance,
some point.
let's link up.
But what do you know then about the whole tampering? Like what the allegations against? Because it's all allegedly right now, right?
So allegedly there was illegal contact between the two teams, right? So it seems
before
the
they
trade
were able to actually
correct,
do it openly.
which is again weird. They make the transfer deadline on a Monday, 6:00, but the player doesn't have to report to the team. It's not like he's going in there and practicing. It's the off season. These guys are literally on vacation. So think about it like that. If they're on vacation and their agent is texting them saying, hey, so-and-so wants to speak to us, or hey, this is the offer officially from the Heat or from the Pelicans or whoever, why wouldn't the agent tell him that? Why is he going to wait until Monday, 6:00 to be like, hey, this is the deal that we've got? No, the moment he knows or the moment that gets offered, he's going to tell that to his client. There's no doubt about that. So if the Heat are like, and I'm sure they talked in the previous season, right? In this past season, they were like, hey, what's up? You selling him? Right. Nah? All right, well, look, if you do sell him or if you're going to keep him, let's do this. We'll come back at you and blah, blah, blah. There's nothing wrong with that. What they're trying to do is control the narrative to be like, oh, the deals don't get announced until we say so. I was like, it's so stupid because the teams are already negotiating.
It sounds like a pissing match.
Absolutely. So allegedly, the two teams were getting in contact with each other to say, hey, let's do this for this, or what type of fee do you want, or would you accept this or that? Because a lot of the talk back was not the deal being made. It was more of who are the Heat gonna add, right? We knew that it was Goran for Kyle, straight up. And in order to compensate for the rest of the trade or the rest of the deal, we knew that we were going to throw in a player. Just didn't know who. There was a lot of names out there being thrown around. It ended up being Precious. So that whole situation with the NBA trying to like investigate that, I feel like it's going to fall flat on its face, man, because like I said, the two teams knew that there was mutual interest from the season before. So it's not like, hey, let's talk in 6 months and see how you feel about it. No, it's like, hey, I'm going to hit you up and we're going to make this deal happen. There's nothing wrong with that, in my opinion.
So should we be concerned with this trade?
Absolutely not, bro. What are they going to do? They're going to void the trade?
I don't know.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard.
I don't know.
That's the dumbest shit I've ever heard. And look, the NBA knows that they can't pull some type of stuff off like that too because of, I don't know if you remember the Chris Paul trade that got nixed.
He was going to go to the Hornets with Kobe.
Right.
I'm sorry,
to the Lakers.
From the Hornets.
From the Hornets.
Yeah, he ended up in the Clippers.
And the NBA was like, nah, you can't do that, because we own the team. And what? So the NBA knows, like, you got to be real careful how you walk around trades that other teams are making within themselves. Now, for me, I feel like the NBA should just open it up. Open it up. Hey, we're in the offseason. Season's over. Guess what? In a week, business is open. Go for it. Why? Because all it does is benefit them. There's a lot of media hype around it. People are talking about the NBA. So-and-so is meeting with this team. This team is meeting with this player. There might be a 3-team. All that stuff builds up. Why wouldn't the NBA want that unless they want to, like I said, control the narrative and say, no, deals get done on this day? Nah, because as soon as the deadline hit, 6 deals got announced. Straight up, one after another. Bam, bam, bam. So they're not.
And they're only coming after us and
I think New Orleans
one other
too.
team. I think the Hornets for
No, Chicago. Sorry,
Was
for
it the
dealing with
Bulls?
Chicago. Yeah, for dealing with Chicago with the ball,
okay.
with the ball kid.
Yeah, Lonzo Ball with New Orleans. So
And look, speaking of New Orleans offered Kyle Lowry more money. So you're gonna tell me that the Hornets weren't talking to the Raptors? Of course they were. And they weren't gonna wait until Monday because they knew that the Heat were probably super interested. Come on, let's be real. Let's be real. There's no way that the NBA is gonna come down on any of those teams because that whole NBA free agency shit is dumb. The way they have it set up right now with let's wait until this specific time to all make deals official. Nah, man, teams are already working on deals. They're in the off season. Like, let it be the off season.
yeah.
I don't get it, man.
Well, hey, bro, I don't know if you saw, but we signed that actually. I can't remember his name right now. Off the top of my
Omar,
head.
Youth 7.
Omar. Dude, that kid is a stud. I wanted to ask you
The
about that, 'cause
Turkish Tower.
I've been watching
All
some
right,
of the summer league.
copyrighted. Hold on, dog. I copyrighted that. All right, Turkish Tower. I got that.
I've been watching some of the summer league, bro.
Yo, he's
and
killed it.
He's been balling.
And that he
he's
signed
been
him to
balling.
another deal too.
Yeah, I saw that.
He might be the center that we're looking for, bro.
He doesn't look that big, but he's big.
He's 7 feet.
Yeah, but I'm saying
7'2".
he doesn't look like it.
The problem is people see height and be like, oh, this dude looks skinny on TV. But if you see this man in person,
Right.
he's 7 feet
Yeah.
1, 260
Towering.
pounds. He's a big dude.
Right.
But more importantly for us, and we've spoken about this ad nauseum, bro, where we need a big guy who can space the floor, shoot, big enough to bang and actually stay in the paint if needed, right? And is not a defensive liability, could do these things like block, move on the pick and roll and whatnot. This dude checks all those boxes,
Yeah,
dog.
I like it. I like it.
And I like that he played at Georgetown. I'll tell you why. Because
smart.
Not only that, right?
Crazy, bro. I just think about one thing, bro. That guy has a high IQ, which means he has a high basketball IQ.
I get that. Yes, if you go to college more times than not.
Oh no, if you go to Georgetown specifically,
Yes,
I mean,
yes,
that's a
yes. But
great school.
but look, Stanford cannot say that about their basketball players, right? Because they're not that good.
No.
All right, so that's why I'm like, but yes, you're right in the sense of basketball IQ because Georgetown has put out big men that are always good in the NBA. Obviously, the greatest being Patrick Ewing, but they've always had a big man and players that come out and are NBA ready, NBA ready, NBA ready. And you could tell that he was NBA ready in terms of his body, right? And how he can shoot. But him being with the Heat in the Summer League the year before, he kind of learned how it was to be in that Heat culture and be a pro. You know what I mean? So now the Heat bring him back. They saw how he was killing it in Summer League. Guy scored 52 points in 2 games. Sick. Hitting threes, hitting jumpers, dunking on people, catching alley-oops. Like, this man is could be a potential threat on offense and defense for the Heat. And if he can do that, and I'm not talking about scoring 25 points. That's, talking crazy. But if he can go in there, be the center next to Bam, hit shots, open up the space for Bam down low. Huge, bro. Huge, because that puts us in a position where we can really threaten a team like the Brooklyn Nets, the Milwaukee Bucks, Philadelphia, and not have to worry about Embiid. Like,
I don't know, dog. Embiid is still body my dog.
But look, like we saw with Kevin Durant and PJ Tucker. PJ Tucker didn't stop KD. He slowed him down. And he slowed him down enough to give his guy a chance to go off. Same reason why we got him here. Hey, when we link up with KD, that's your man. When we link up with Giannis, that's your man. Your job is to slow him down. We're not going to put Bam on them to get 6 fouls, 5 fouls quick, be tired, ineffective during the game. No. That's what you're here for. Let Bam do his thing. So we're putting those role pieces together. Him, the Morris twin that we got also.
Markeith.
Those guys are here for straight defense, dog. Straight defense. Don't even worry about making a bucket. If you make a bucket, we'll pay you 10 grand, dog.
Right.
Your main job.
And even then, Markeith can still. He has a
he
three.
Can hit him. He can
has
hit
a
him.
3 ball, so that stretches the floor for us on the offense. On the defense, he's down low protecting the paint. Come back on the other side. We got a bunch of players on the perimeter now that can shoot. Then you got PJ. PJ can shoot too. And then at the same time, he's one of those grinders. So Pat knows what he's doing when he's putting this team together. He knows what we were missing last year, and he's quickly added those pieces. We have a team right now that is looking like a championship caliber roster.
Correct. It's not there yet, right? Because there's still things that we can look at and be
they got to play together.
Bingo, number one. But other things that we can look like, damn, we're still kind of thin on point guard. Is Hero going to really bounce back? Because then that'll leave us thin at shooting guard, right? And let's see. We took gambles, right? We have gambles. We took another gamble on Victor Oladipo. We signed him to a 1-year deal, vet minimum.
Yep.
Can't be mad at that.
We re-signed Gabe
Even
Vincent.
though I'm skeptical of him and how he's going to be able to fit into the squad, but his NBA experience and his ability, basketball-wise, maybe not explosiveness anymore, but just basketball IQ and being able to shoot and score, he could be a big help. Having Oladipo and Lowry,
no,
that could be big.
Obviously when we first got him, that was what was enticing. It was like, oh man, that we need a shooting guard like that, somebody that can put up points and is sound all the way around. And that's not a liability on defense. That's just athletic that can cover multiple positions. And have that heat mentality, right? We're looking for that player that always carries that heat mentality. And Oladipo checked a lot of those boxes up until he goes up for that dunk and comes down and gets injured in the middle of a non-contact situation.
Yes.
And so now he was out for the rest of the season for us. We didn't get to see his potential with the Heat jersey on, and he's out right now indefinitely. He might be coming back November, could be coming back as late as January.
What I read is that he's going to miss the beginning of the season.
100%, but that's what I mean. If he comes back in November, he still misses the first
3
month,
weeks,
of the season.
Yeah.
And if he comes back in January, he misses the first 2-3 months of the season.
Damn.
So it's like, obviously at that point, a healthy Oladipo, we'll still take it. We only signed him for 1 year, so we're not really losing much on that. It's a good business move for what he can bring. You know what I mean? The risk and the reward are pretty even.
They're pretty even. They coincide with each other and it makes sense to bring him back. Again, I'm skeptical of him being that guy because if he looks off, then we just wasted minutes on him that we could have given to Max Strus and see what he can do in a bigger role for us. You know what I mean? And see if he's capable to be that backup.
I don't know. Max Strus isn't that guy. You're not that guy.
You're not that guy.
He's more of that 3-point guy. He's more of like that role player. Oladipo, a healthy Oladipo brings a lot more to the table than a guy like Max Strus. No disrespect to Max, who we also signed and gave some money to keep him here. But he's leading
flashes.
the G League. I don't know if you saw that post the other day where he was the one leading the G League. He was like, "What do you guys see over there? What do you guys see in common?" And I forgot where he went with that, but it was some motivational ass speech that got me hyped up, and I wanted to go out there and win the game.
What he was saying is like, look, they're all drafted. We're undrafted.
Right. That's right. That's what it was.
Again, a guy who knows. So those type of guys are dangerous, and he's shown flashes of being good. He just needs time. He needs more exposure against NBA elite talent. He needs that. Again, him practicing against Kyle Lowry and Victor Oladipo now, Papo is going to make him step his game up, and he's going to be even more ready when that is going down. Again, we have a lot of questions about the Heat, but honestly, you got to feel good about where we're at as a Heat fan because we're in prime position. And even if some of these moves work out, like Omar, like Oladipo, those two things work out, man, other teams have a lot to be worried about because we still got our main guy, Jimmy, after he signed his extension. He signed his 4-year, $184 million extension. The dog's earning 46 per.
Bro, everybody is getting paid, son.
Paid. Well, he deserves it, and he's our guy. He's our leader. So I'm not mad at that.
No, not at all.
I'm not mad at that.
I like all the moves we made. I like all the money we've thrown out there and stuff. So I ain't mad at it. I'm looking forward to Heat, the Heat season.
Me too, man. Me too. I got a lot of big expectations, and we're gonna do a huge Heat preview when the time comes. But until then, we're just gonna enjoy the the whack investigation, if you want to even call it that.
I guess we'll keep
see
you
what
all
happens.
posted on that. But speaking of future episodes, I know that I know you wanted to keep this a secret, but we're going to do a huge focus on our Dolphins coming up here.
Yes, sir.
A Dolphin-centric episode where we're going to kind of go in depth on everything before the season starts off. But there was some Dolphins news over the weekend.
Yep.
I wanted to see what your thoughts were on it.
It's funny because we were texting back and forth a little bit about it, like whether it was going to happen. And then we got the news that Xavier Howard and the Dolphins got into an agreement where they were able to sign a new deal or
They
whatever.
just restructured the terms of his
Right.
contract where he got a little bit more money guaranteed. So all of his money for this coming season is fully guaranteed, I believe. He got a little bit more incentives. I think like $3.5 million worth of incentives added. So it wasn't anything too crazy, but it seems like it was enough to keep him happy.
Yes, but
For now.
Because while that's good for him, and I'm
then
glad that he
also
got his money.
One other thing, they took away the fines. They had fined them for missing.
They gave him his money
training
back.
camp.
They gave him his money
They
back.
nixed that. They took that away, so
Right.
he gets to keep that money. But
They
go
gave
on.
him his money back, which is, again, smart, classy move by the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Right thing to do on both sides.
Love it.
Right thing to do on both sides. Because it's not like he didn't come to camp after that. He came, he participated in practices, was there, wasn't hyping up the media, was super cool with his teammates, focused on the job at hand. Professional through and through. So no issues with Xavier Howard there. But I feel like it does put some pressure on him, and it also puts some pressure on Byron Jones too, because both of those guys are going to be competing to be like, I'm not the one who's going to be cut next year, so I'm going to be the better player, and you're going to get cut because you're the one that's getting paid more. And, man, that's great for the defense because those boys are going to be so freaking amped to go out there and perform. And Howard knows that everybody's looking at him now, right? You got your money. You got your incentives. Go get it. Go get it. And he's shown it.
All right, let's take a quick pause.
Let's do it.
All right, well, that was we just had to reset for our YouTube.
Yep.
Sorry about that, folks.
You're welcome for the
Yeah.
bathroom break. I'm kidding.
Nah, they wouldn't even notice the break.
Yeah, for sure.
It's more for us.
Let's
back
wrap
to the
up.
Dolphins.
Yeah, let me wrap this up with the Dolphins. For me, it's put up or shut up for Xavier Howard time. Right? It's like for him it's ball out like you did and make all the fans happy, or get ready for that scrutiny if you don't perform to the same level that you did after complaining and bitching about the money and then getting it. Now, I think he's going to do even better than he did last year just to hit those incentives, which, again, just bodes even better for us as a team in general and especially on the defensive end. The one who has to watch his back is Jones, because now there's a bigger target on him, and people are going to be able to tell the difference about who's playing better between the two.
Right,
so,
right.
let's
I
see.
can't wait till we get into it next week. Next week's going to be a fun one.
It's going to be huge, bro.
If you guys want to know what we had to say about the Dolphins preseason so far, or their training camps, and
Yeah,
their
man.
preseason coming up, next week, stay tuned.
Stay tuned. It's going to be a big one.
Dolphin-centric episode next week.
It's going to be a big one. But, Doug, real quick, before we get out of here, I wanted to get your thoughts on UFC 265.
Bro.
We saw the interim champ get crowned, and it was not the guy that you and I thought it was going to
It
be.
was not Derek Lewis.
It was not.
Did you watch the fight?
I did.
Bro.
I watched it twice, actually.
It was an impressive win by Gain.
Yeah.
Impressive win to see what he did. And honestly, it was a little disappointing to see Derek Lewis. Like Derek Lewis, I've always had concerns with his stamina in the past because he is kind of a bigger guy.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like there is a disparity in their stamina. I feel like he ran out of gas early on, and that like kind of like hurt him. Like he was still able to take the damage, but he wasn't able to cover up or kind of defend himself at the end of the fight. Like, you
Yeah.
saw he had him on the ground against the cage and stuff.
Yeah.
And I just think he got gas, bro.
For me, it was two things, right? Because when I know a big fight is coming, right, or a championship fight is coming, UFC, they usually do like on ESPN, like a leading up to the fight, right? I forget what it's called. It's like undocumented or documented, something like that. And they were showing Derek Lewis in his pre-fight meeting with Daniel Cormier and the rest of the guys who were doing the commentary, right? Dominic Cruz was there. And I forget the other guy's name. But Derek was talking about how he was feeling the pressure of fighting in his home state, his hometown of Houston, having everybody that he knows there. Trey from ABN was there, the rapper. Like, all these people were there to see Derek perform. And when he said that, I was like, damn, maybe that pressure is getting to him. And, Cormier being the great guy that he is, the ultimate professional, he gave him some tips. He was like, yo, don't be by yourself, because that's when your thoughts can creep into you. And then, the negative starts to creep in and you lose track of what's important, what's to focus on. When Gane, when Cyril Gane was walking into the stadium, number one, first thing I noticed,
Gane or is it
Gane.
I've been saying Gane this whole time.
Yeah, it's cool.
He's French, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I should have.
It's cool, man. Hey, we're
bro,
American, bro.
I say it the American way. There's Gane, the Gane.
So I think he was so relaxed, and I could tell off rip just by the song he walked in. I don't know if you got a chance to hear it, but he came into Mike Jones still and Paul Wall still tipping on fofos. If you know what that track is. So people heard that drop, still tipping on fofos, right? And everybody's like, going crazy, thinking that Derek Lewis was getting ready to come in. And here comes the Frenchman, Cyril Gane,
playing to the crowd in Houston.
To the crowd and, getting them hype. And that just shows you how confident and how comfortable he was.
He looked good, man.
He looked good.
He was a number 3 contender, I think, in the division, and now he's the interim champ.
And you know what's crazy? We saw it happen like 3 main events ago, and we saw it happen mainly in the McGregor-Poirier 3, where the leg kicks were just devastating.
Yes.
Devastating.
He kept checking them.
And bro, that first round, he gave him 2 good ones, and Derek was not ready for that. And I heard the comment.
You can see him grimace. You can see it like when he got hit, he's like,
bro, you heard the smack.
Yeah.
And when you can hear the smack through the TV, forget about being at the event. When you can hear the smack as clear as you did through the TV, you know that it was completely on point.
Yeah.
And I don't think Derek Lewis was prepared for that, because that just sucked all his strength, because he had to put all that weight on his other leg and keep that stamina going, to kind of compensate for.
Yeah, he was hobbled
for
most of the round.
For that hobble.
Most of the fight, I should say.
Bro.
Yeah, and he ends up getting beat, by TKO in the 3rd round. He just he got put up against the cage on the ground.
Dominated.
And he was on his knees and stuff, and Gane was just hammering home on him, bro. Just fucking going to town, and they were telling him, "There, you got to defend yourself. You got to do something. Show me a sign." And he just didn't. I just think he was just done at that point, man. So
yeah, the way he was covering up was kind of whack, bro, because I was like, damn. Because he got rocked. Don't get me wrong. He got rocked like 30 seconds before that. Gane caught him with a nice right hook, staggered him, and then didn't jump on him with the pressure, but waited and kept jabbing him. And at that point, you could tell that Derek didn't want to get hit anymore, so he was kind of covering up too much. And once he did that, I was like, this is going to end.
Yo. But before we get all right, so the next step for Gane now is going to be Francis Ngannou. And Ngannou already tweeted out or commented and said, well, I'm going to see you.
I'm ready.
So that's
but the interesting thing about that fight is that those dudes are training partners. Obviously, they're going to be former training partners, but they're training partners.
Crazy.
Because Ngannou was living in France when he was, from
Senegal originally.
From Senegal.
And he went to France, and that's where he got discovered.
And Gane, they hit it off. Super cool. Been super cool since Ngannou's been in France.
That's crazy.
Super crazy. And now they're both gonna have to fight for the real belt, because Gane has the interim champ belt, but Ngannou is the champ. So
while we're on the topic though of fighting and mixed martial arts,
sir,
we got to talk about Khabib's cousin,
bro.
Oh my goodness, was he the one with the clip of the knee?
Yeah.
Talk about that clip, bro.
First of all,
talk about that fight and that finish.
First of all, I want to know what's in the water.
I had to repeat that.
No. I want to know what's in the water that those people are drinking in Dagestan.
Bro, it's Dagestan's turn. It used to be Japan. It used to be Brazil. It used to be whoever it used to be. It's Dagestan right now that's holding it down in MMA and UFC.
Bro, there has to be something in that water, dog. Because this guy, forget about being his cousin, right? So obviously they share the same blood. But you could tell that he was just calm, focused, knew exactly what he wanted to do, when he was going to do it, how he was going to do it. The opponent could have thrown whatever at him. The moment he found that inch, which was an inch to land that knee, he caught him on like the tip of the chin.
It's crazy.
The tip of the chin.
I didn't know what happened when I first saw it. I just saw the dude go to the ground. He got slumped because it was a weird angle.
Right.
And like you just kind of see something quick happen, and then the dude just gets slumped. Like boom, hits the canvas, and you're like, wait a minute, what? And when you see the replay, he throws the fastest from standing position, just the fastest knee right at this guy's face. just knocks him out cold. It was crazy.
Didn't really wind up for it. Didn't really need a lot of space to throw it.
It was Anderson Silva-esque.
Right. Where he's like, I'm going to kick you in 2 feet
out of
space.
nowhere.
Bam.
Exactly. Just out of nowhere. Just a surprise. Boop.
Impressive.
Yeah, dude.
So,
what's his name?
dude, don't ask me that.
I thought you were gonna have
Come
that
on.
ready. I feel like it was like Israel or.
Nah, man. That's tough. Sorry.
I got you.
I got Khabib because it's Khabib. Okay. But
Islam is his name.
there you go. Close.
Right.
What's his last name?
Islam Makhachev.
You got it.
Something like that. Makhachev.
Yeah, you got it. But he was impressive. But he's not fighting in the best league in the world. He's not fighting in the UFC yet. But I would like to see him go up against bigger talent or better talent, I should say. Because I really want to see what he's about, man. He looks like a very interesting fighter. He looks like a guy who's willing to throw down no matter what, at any weight class, at any time. Obviously, he's an impressive cat. Also impressive this weekend, we saw Jose Aldo. Look impressive, bro.
Got another win.
Got another win, man. 34 years old.
The old
still,
man.
34 years old and still kicking in UFC, bro.
The old
That's
man.
a young man's game, dog. And I don't know how this my dog Scarface does it. But he looked really good. He beat a fellow Brazilian, Pedro Munoz. Unanimous decision. We also saw another Brazilian get a very important win for him. A very important win because he was kind of locked in that battle of top 5 rankings in that middleweight class to get next in line to fight Usman. And Vicente Luque, he defeated Michael Chiesa in the first round by submission. And the interesting about that is that Michael had him in a sub within like the first minute of the fight. I don't know if you caught that.
Yeah.
He had him in the sub, couldn't get it. Next thing you know,
it just changed the whole.
he got his back, and once Vicente got his back, it was a wrap.
Bro, it was crazy. Like, we thought in the first few moments of the fight that it was going to definitely go one way, and then quickly just changed.
Completely. And Vicente is a very promising fighter, bro. Let me tell you. He's got tremendo win streak going on, and obviously he did the right thing by calling out Usman after the fight, right? Because you got to be able to put yourself in a position in order to even get that fight. You got to talk about it if you want it. But it still lines up a lot of interesting fights for that top of the heap, like we talked about. Now, this is a guy who could possibly be one of those 4 guys that end up fighting each other to get the winner of those two to get the winner of Usman and Colby.
Right, you can
when
throw
it
his
happens.
name in that circle.
So I would love to see him fight fellow Brazilian Gilberto Burns, or even if he fought a Masvidal, or even if he fought a Leon Edwards. All of those guys would make an interesting little tournament in order to see who ends up fighting Usman, because I don't see Usman losing to nobody right now.
Nah.
Not Colby, for sure. I feel like Colby's going to go in there with a lot of emotion, and he's going to get mollywopped.
Yeah, I mean, Usman is that guy, is that dude, so you can't play with him. But it's definitely an interesting weight class right there. There's a lot of options.
Super interesting. Super interesting.
Man, again, I didn't even notice it that time.
That's the sign,
we gotta
dog.
figure that out. I don't know what's going on here.
It's a sign. It's a sign that
Let's
we
see
didn't.
If I can get it back up while you wrap up.
I'm gonna wrap this thing up right now, dog. But first and foremost, I want to give another big shout out to CIC Miami for always holding us down. They're an amazing place to have an office space. So if you ever need one, hit us up and we'll put you down with the connect. I want to give a big shout out to Jay for always doing this with the homie. My dog, can't wait till we do that 365 under the lights.
I can't wait till the future.
That shit's gonna be fire,
of this
man.
podcast. We got a lot of exciting things coming up.
That shit's gonna be fire, man. It's gonna be fire, man. And that's it, man. That's pretty much it. We got to shout out the listeners. Thank you for subscribing to the podcast. Thank you for doing us a huge solid, checking us out on YouTube. Make sure you guys continue to do that. That's where we're going to put all the episodes, and all the other content that we get is going to come on YouTube. So
if you're listening to us on a podcast platform, Spotify, iTunes, or anything like that, make sure to go subscribe on YouTube. And if you're watching us on YouTube, make sure to go follow us on one of those platforms.
That's how we do out here. And if you don't know, guess what your job is for this podcast? Your only job is to listen and to tell a friend.
To tell a friend.
To tell another friend.
To tell one more friend.
To tell one more friend about this amazing, dope podcast that we got, all about Miami sports, giving you the national background on sports and keeping you up to date with international sports. Who you know is doing that, bro?
Nobody, bro.
Nobody. So make sure you guys are following us on social media. Check us out on YouTube. And until next time, y'all.
Peace.